going on, everybody? This is Drew here. I want to welcome you all to a brand new episode of Phoenix Down. This is Phoenix Down 111.1. This is the only day you can tweet this. 11111. And we're playing and continuing our playthrough of Yakuza 4. Today I have with me Matt.
Hello.
And yeah, last we left off, we were playing as the broker, the loan shark with the heart of gold. And all of a sudden, it says part 1 done, or part 1 finished, I think. And then it switches to a different character. So we're playing as different characters in this game. And the first thing we have to do is go back in time. 1985. Pretty good year. That's the year Back to the Future came out.
I was 2.
I was born in 1985.
Oh, what a year to celebrate.
I know, right? I wonder, I can't remember what, I think it was before I was born. I think this was like in March or something like that. It says it, but I can't remember. But yeah, we're talking, or not talking, but we're seeing a scene with two guys talking. Particularly, Goro Majima is there. Two-eyed Goro Majima.
Yep, looking young, looking fresh. Very
young. And he is talking with his brother from another mother. Part of his little Yakuza gang that he had going back then. And you're going to have to pronounce that last name because I played this game exclusively on mute. So I don't know how you actually pronounce this. Saejima?
Saejima? Yeah, that's what I've been saying. Okay,
Saejima. Now, if you remember, and I can't remember what game it was, it may have been Yakuza 0. Saejima was kind of like Majima's partner in crime. And in 1985, he agreed to do a hit. And I think we even talked about it when they showed it off. It looked ridiculous.
Yep.
He was the guy who carried like 6 or 7 revolver pistols with him, including one in his mouth. And he used all of them to shoot the rival clan, the Siwa clan, so the Ino Siwa clan. Killed 18 men
18
that day?
Men, yep.
Killed 18 men that day. Pretty much wiped out the entire clan. It was a very small clan at the time. Cops came in, arrested him, and sent him to prison. And he always, Saejima always wondered, where was Majima? Majima was supposed to meet with me and help me out with this hit.
Yeah, he betrayed me, left me to die.
Left me to die.
Which is pretty amazing. Like, I was a little lukewarm to this game after finishing part 1, but immediately starting part 2, I felt much better about it.
Absolutely, I did.
Getting to see Majima, getting these kind of cool tiebacks to Yakuza 0, certainly my favorite game in the series.
Yeah.
And then, just to start to get the understanding of how the game is structured and how the character arcs start to intertwine with each other, and you get these kind of deep-seated tiebacks to the older games. I'm like, oh, this doesn't feel like a throwaway game with B characters.
Right.
Which is kind of what I felt at the end of Section 1. I'm like, oh, we're playing somebody I don't care about.
Yes.
Even if their story's okay, it just feels like it's, it's random and it's, just an unimportant story. But that immediately changed starting this playthrough, and I feel much better about this game than I did last week or 2 weeks ago.
Absolutely. I enjoyed this section way more than the previous section.
Yep. Me too.
And it's really because, hey, I know these two guys.
Yep.
You know, while I don't know this Sajima guy, I have been introduced to him before.
Yeah,
So.
I feel like they're uncovering parts that I had heard about but didn't know the details about. You know, I feel like they're filling in gaps. I'm like, oh, this is what happened. Oh, this is interesting. I care about these characters.
Exactly. So I am all in for this.
Yep.
So yeah, that's in the past. We cut to 25 years later. Sajima is still in prison. He has been finally set to be on death row. So he is going to his final place before being executed, which is an island prison off the coast of Okinawa.
Which we visited recently in the series.
Yes. So, yeah. The first kind of chapter of this game is us in prison. And when he arrives in this new prison, he runs into some Siwa guys. I'm like, yeah, we heard you killed all of our guys. We're gonna kill you now.
Yeah, I kind of snickered a little bit when this happened. I'm like, of course, the people he gets housed with would be the rest of the family that he massacred.
Yeah, of course it is.
In kind of a good way. I'm like, oh, yep, you've set yourself up for some easy conflict. You definitely have pissed off a lot of people with what you've done, and now you're going to have to deal with it.
Yep.
Repercussions.
So we have to beat those guys up. And the first thing we notice, and the game actually tells us, is that, hey, this guy plays differently than anybody else in the game. So it seems like everybody's going to be playing differently.
Yeah, which again, like, I really appreciated the way the game is starting to unfold. Right, the fact that you get multiple play styles, the fact that you get different characters, almost like short stories that intertwine with each other. You know, you start to get to feel the structure of the game here change, and you know, it just felt refreshing to me.
Yeah. So he's the big hulking power hitter.
Which is usually how I play anyway, so I really liked his style.
See, I always play fast.
So I did in Yakuza 0, but since then I tend to go bigger and slower.
There you go. So he's the beast character.
Yeah.
So when you do a combo, you can charge up the finishing move, and it will do more damage, and usually knock the guy down, or stun them at least. And he's a big grappler, too. He has a ton of upgrades. It's all about just grabbing guys.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
I was just going to say, he feels pretty badass by the end of this.
Yeah. I was able to level this guy up way more than Akiyama. Is it Akiyama?
Yep, Shun Akiyama.
Yeah. I don't know why. I guess because I just fought a lot more guys. Like, they force you to fight a ton of guys right here.
Yep.
But yeah, so after getting into a big brawl in the cafeteria, the police, or not the police, but the guards, take him to the hole and beat the ever-loving crap out of him.
Yeah, this is not not a friendly prison. He's not on some vacation prison here.
No. This is the end of the road. You will either be executed here, or you will just be killed by getting beat to death. And during the fight, there was a guy watching in the distance. And after getting beat up by the guards, that guy walks in, tells the guard, I got guys on the outside, they'll pay you if you just give me a little while with this guy. So they leave the room. Man sits down, introduces himself. Now, he needs no introduction to us. We know exactly who this person is. And that's Hamazaki. And now, if people don't remember who Hamazaki is, Hamazaki was one of the Yakuza bosses in the previous game, Yakuza 3. He was the one who kind of disappeared throughout half the game, and at the very end showed up after everything was over with and stabbed Kazuma Kiryu in the stomach in the streets of Kamurocho, and left on that big cliffhanger of, uh-oh, Kazuma's going to die.
And that's why he was sent to prison, right?
Yes. He was caught for attempted murder and was sent to this prison. So Hamazaki's like, hey, I know who you are. I used to be in the Tojo clan too. How about me and you bust out of here? And we're like, okay, cool. Meet me in the, I don't know, the yard, I guess is what they call it. Tomorrow we'll devise a plan. So we have to, it's basically a fetch quests game. You have to go get certain things. You got to go get, so we're trying to make a grappling hook.
Which sounds ridiculous that you're going to make that to bust your way out of prison.
Yeah, you're going to use a grappling hook to get out of prison here. And you got to have a chain. Where are you going to get a chain? Well, there's a guy who has a chain, but you got to fight him for it. And then you have to, all right, well, now we have a chain. We have to have something that can use prongs to hook onto. Okay, well, what do we got here? Oh, there's a pitchfork we can use. What?
Yeah.
Okay.
It felt a little bit formulaic here. I'm like, all right, we're just going to get these pieces. There wasn't anything real surprising here. But,
no.
But at least again, all the pieces were kind of connected to the central story. It didn't feel like a bunch of frivolous fetch quests because you're at least trying to assemble this thing to escape, and the escape makes sense, and so I think I didn't get frustrated with it from a story perspective like I did with some of the other quests in the series. So it was a little bit just like going through the motions, but at least it had some rationale behind it.
Right. It's that you just made me remind me of the it was a tweet I saw, and it was just a screenshot of Yakuza, and it says, "This is the most Yakuza screenshot I've ever seen," and it's just Kiryu talking to somebody saying, "All right, if I get this squid for you, you got to join my baseball team." I was like, "Yep, that sounds about right." So yeah, after getting the grappling hook, we got the plan set. Okay, at night, I've got a key made, and we are going to use that key to escape ourselves at night. Everybody's asleep. You're gonna throw your bed over the railing to make a loud sound. All the guards are gonna come see what the commotion is. I'm gonna sneak behind them, get out, and then you are gonna make a distraction by beating up the guards, I guess. And meet me, and we're going to get out of here. Okay.
I thought this was going to be more of a puzzle, the way he lays everything out that I need to do.
Yeah, because you got this map and everything, and we're going to go here and start here, and then we're going to go here. I'm like, wow, man, I don't know if I'm going to remember all this.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, shit, I have to remember the order. Is it left out of the door, right? Like, am I going to fail a bunch of times?
Yeah.
You don't actually need to know any of that, because it's just fight people and watch cutscenes like it always is.
Yep. That's one thing that's always there is Yakuza is always going to be Yakuza.
Yep.
Occasionally you'll get and we do get it later on, the whole roam around the freaking town trying to figure out what the hell to do. Oh my gosh. So yeah, we caused a distraction. We beat up some of the guards, particularly the guard who beat us in the hole. This guy is really got a number out for us.
The captain?
The captain, yeah. We fight him like 3 times.
Saito. I think.
Saito?
Yep.
But, yeah.
That was actually the first fight in this whole game I thought that was really tough.
It was.
I kept trying to find things to fight him with, like weapons, and there weren't a lot.
The second fight with him, the one after you go down the hallways where you got to do the quick time events.
Yep.
That was the hardest one for me.
Yeah, me too.
Then I was just like, oh my God, I can't. And I was like, all right. And the problem is like, I would use some of my ability points to like level up something. I would fail at that fight and I'd have to put my points in again. And I'm like, this is so freaking annoying.
You also haven't had the ability to buy a bunch of like life potions and food.
No,
and stuff,
you just had to pick your stuff up.
Yeah, so you can't just kind of like outlast him because I think at this point I only had three or four drinks on me.
Yeah. So, but yeah, run through this kind of like gauntlet pretty much. We meet back up with Hamazaki, and there is a sniper on the roof trying to shoot at us. Hamazaki's like, all right, I'll go behind him. You just keep him distracted. So I got to run through this area without getting shot, but also fighting guys at the same time. I found out about halfway through this section, you don't have to fight anybody. Just beat up the gate that's holding you back, and you can go on through.
Yeah. I thought this part was going to be harder until I got shot, and it didn't take all that much life on me. I'm like, since when does a sniper rifle just do a sliver of damage?
Oh, dude, come on. This is Yakuza. How many times have we gotten shot? And how many times has anybody gotten shot in this series and don't die?
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty variable. If you need somebody to die instantly, they will.
Yeah.
If you need somebody to get shot multiple times, and that happens coming up to where they are obviously dead immediately, and they're just going to keep talking until they say what they need to say.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
So
it's another Yakuza staple.
Oh yes. The death speech that they always had to give.
Dying revelations.
So after getting through all that, we finally make it back to the yard. We throw our little grappling hook up, and they've cornered us though. Hamazaki, Sajima tells him, all right, go. Tells Hamazaki, go, I'll hold him off. And so we have our final fight with the captain. And after beating him, we're like, all right, well, we're going to get out of here. So we start climbing. We climb up to the top, and as we're about to reach, we're losing our grip, I think, and we're going to fall. And Hamazaki, bam, shows back up, grabs his hand, and pulls him up. He's like, I thought you'd left me. He's like, nope, I'm not going to leave you. Not after that.
Yeah, no one's ever, I've never been able to trust anyone before. No one's ever put their faith in me.
Yep.
There's a bunch of kind of funny things. It's clearly like an intense scene, but there's a lot of eye rolling in the next 5 minutes of this game.
Yes. So Hamazaki. So at this point, you would think, let's stop talking and scale back down.
Yep. They stand up there for way too long.
They stand up there way too long. The alarms are already going off. The spotlights are on them. Everything like that. It's time to go. But no, they got to talk, and they got to talk. And then, oh, look, the captain shows back up. He's up there. He climbs up. He's got a gun on everybody. And Hamazaki jumps in the way. Gets shot multiple times. 5 times at least.
Yeah. And then, like, in the chest, in the stomach. Not like side shots or shot in the leg where you can, keep talking and keep living, and you just might not be able to walk again. These are death shots.
Yep. And he's like yelling.
Yep.
He's yelling enthusiastically. And
it comes right after he starts having his like they're up there way too long, and you're like, all right, something's off here. Like, why are they up here so long? And then he starts doing a heart to heart to Saejima. So I'm like, all right, he's not going to make it, is he? He starts talking about how like you're the only friend I've ever had, or the only one that's ever trusted me, and I'm just like, you're getting too mushy here. I think you're setting yourself up.
Yep. And yeah.
And then him not dying too. I'm just like, all right.
Yeah. So he gets shot multiple times, gives us a big speech, and grabs a hold of the captain and falls into the ocean. So I'm assuming he's dead. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
both him and the captain are dead, but I don't know.
Yeah,
This
hard
is
to say
Yakuza.
because Saejima also just jumps right in after them.
Yeah.
So the
Well,
shots
he does.
probably did it.
He does climb a little bit.
Yeah.
But then he has to swim to shore. I don't know how far off this island is.
Yeah.
But holy crap.
Plus, he doesn't, maybe he starts swimming, but at some point he doesn't make it and he, passes out or something because he washes up on the beach.
Yep. He washes up on the beach of Okinawa. And one thing he remembers, Hamazaki told him, when you make it to shore, find Kazuma Kiryu. He will help you. Well, serendipitous, he washes up on the shore directly across the street from Morning Glory.
Yep, another little bit of an eye roll moment. All the places he could have washed up.
Yep, he washes up on the shore, and little Haruka, she finds him and says, "Oh no, this poor man," and I guess drags him to the orphanage.
Yeah, not possible.
No, not this giant man.
Yeah,
this dude is like 280 pounds and like 6'6", just massive. And 14-year-old Haruka pulls him up, or I guess 15 now.
Yeah, 15.
Right? Yeah, 15.
Making a little cameo appearance in the game.
Yeah, she pulls him in, and he wakes up, and there is a very strange moment.
Yep.
Where she's caring for him, and he wakes up and is very drawn to Haruka, and it's a little weird.
He flips her over and straddles her.
Yeah. Because I guess she surprised him, but then he continues his gaze on her for a little while. And then Uncle Kaz comes in. Kazuma himself, Kiryu, shows up. And he's like, "So, heard you had a shipwreck. You want to talk about it?" And he's like, "Nope. Nope, don't want to talk about it." And Kiryu's like, "Okay, look, we need to stop beating around the bush here. I don't know who you are, but I definitely know what you are." He's like, "You got that tattoo on your back there," which I should say the tattoo on his back is a tiger.
Which is funny. His name is Taiga, also.
Taiga, yeah.
His first name is Taiga.
And so Kiryu's like, "If you tell me, I can help you. What's going on?" And he refuses to tell him anything. But he does say, "Look, I need some help. I need to get to Kamurocho." And Kiryu's like, "Well, that's a plane ride, boss. And you got any money?" He's like, "Nope, but it's not that much. It's only 5,000 yen." And Kiryu's like, 5,000 yen? No, it's more like 30 or 40,000 yen. He's like, "Where you been lately?"
Yeah. It starts to get a lot of clues that, hey, there was no shipwreck.
Yeah.
And, this guy's been out of it for a while, and he's got the tattoo, and he starts to put all the pieces together.
Yeah. So, Kiryu's like, "All right, I'll help you, but you have to tell me the truth. And if you don't tell me the truth, I gotta fight you." So, of course, we have to fight Kiryu. And I was thinking, is this going to be one of those fights where we're supposed to lose?
Yeah, we can't be stronger than Kiryu.
Yeah. But no, we're supposed to beat Kiryu. We beat him. But then the cutscene afterwards is basically like they both were like even.
Yeah, which also has happened before in the series.
Yeah. But yeah, Kiri's like, okay, fine. I'll get you to Kamurocho. I don't know what you're needing there, but well, good luck to you.
Yeah, ends up saying, don't do this for revenge.
Yeah. Like I've went down that road, and it doesn't solve anything when you get it.
It's quite the fount of wisdom.
Yeah, and that's the end of that chapter. So that was
super
chapter
short
2.
chapter.
Really short chapter. And then the next one is chapter 3. At this point, toward the end especially, it seems like people have or the police have at least gotten wise to the fact that, hey, there's been a jailbreak and there is a mass murderer on the loose in Kamurocho. So we do start running into police officers that we have to avoid.
By some quite circuitous routes.
Yes. Holy crap, we'll get to that. That's in the 4th chapter, but 3rd chapter is basically we're trying to figure out what happened to the boss. Because Hamazaki, while we were still in prison, said, yeah, your boss, you killed 18 people for your boss. Your boss, he disappeared right after you went to jail. Yeah, he didn't rise to power. In fact, funny enough, when I was still in the Yakuza, your old buddy Majima has his own family now in the Tojo clan.
Yeah, which only cements the whole, wow, he betrayed me and then took over a family status.
Yep. So, first order of business is, well, I got to find out what happened to the boss. So, we're running around. We try to find the old headquarters. Those headquarters haven't been around in 20 years. And so we're starting to talk to the homeless, trying to figure out, hey, does anybody know anything? And this is where we learn about the underground, where all the homeless people live. Now, we've been here before, but now we're going to be here to a very large extent. In fact, this is where we're basically setting up our base of operations, because, well, we can't be on the surface because there's a bunch of cops up there looking for us.
And this is where we meet up with Kido, right? And then he gives us his apartment as a base.
Yeah.
Does he live there? Yeah. Is it his apartment, or is it just...
I don't know if I think it's just like a little underground hideout he uses.
Yeah. I thought it was like an abandoned apartment that was kind of maybe communally used by the homeless.
Possibly. I don't know. But Kido, yeah, we run into Kido. He's actually beaten up a bunch of the Shibata clan people. And, Shibata, back in 1985, was a rival family to Zajima's family. So he's like, okay, well, what's going on? And Kido's like, it's a long story, man. He's like, well, are you in the Yakuza? He's like, yeah, I'm actually part of the Shibata family. He's like, why the hell are you beating up your own guys? And he's like, it's a long story. Who are you? And he's like, oh, I'm, Zajima. And he's like, the dude that murdered 18 people 25 years ago? And they're like, yeah. He's like, dude, you're a friggin' legend. Yeah, I don't know about that. And he's like, well, hell, let me help you. Like, what are you trying to do? He's like, well, I'm trying to find my family. Well, I can help you, at least. And that's when he takes him to his hideout.
Yeah, it comes
And
out over these 2 chapters, but it's really interesting. Kind of his having been in prison for 25 years and the way he kind of reflects and feels about what he did.
Oh yeah, definitely. So we can go ahead and say it because this will be the last time we interact with Keto. Keto asked him, he's like, "Do you have any regrets about what you did?" And he's like, "Do I have regrets about murdering people? Yeah. Do I have regrets about what I did for my family and my cause? No."
Yeah, like how he says, I feel bad for every life I took, every one of them. I feel bad for what, their families must be going through, having lost somebody. But I did it as a matter of honor for the family, and I would do it again.
Yeah.
And so it's an interesting kind of place to be in, to both defend what you've done and know that it's kind of indefensible at the same time.
Yeah. And he said, he notices Keto, he's like, "You're asking me this because I feel like you got something big planned too." And he's like, "My advice to you is, if it's for the cause that you believe in, go for it.
And go big."
Yep. Go big or go home.
Because he's like, you don't have a lot of time or a lot of chances to make your mark.
Yep. So, yeah. Trying to find out what happened to the boss. So we started asking around town, and they're like, "Oh yeah, well there's this information broker known as the Florist that could probably help us out with that."
Yeah, if anyone's got information, it's him.
Yeah. After getting some information on how to get to the Florist, which the players know exactly how to get there, we go and get probably the most goofiest cutscene I've ever seen. We go to the bathrooms in the park, and the door's just locked, I guess.
Yep.
So he goes to the bathroom. He kicks open the door. There's a guy using the bathroom in a very strange way.
Yeah.
He's like squatting, unless that's how the bathrooms are. I don't know. And he has this dumb look on his face because there's this giant hulking man standing over him. And he reaches for the door that's in the stall. It doesn't open. And he's like, "My bad." And then just leaves. Well, why not try and kick the door down? I mean...
Yeah. He's done more. Right?
Yeah.
Like, if that's the way in, like, I'm sure that Sajima could find a way to get past that door if he really wanted to.
But there is another way. And this is where we're like, just walk around town and ask people. And I'm just like, no, this town's huge. There's a lot of people to talk to.
Yep, tell me who to talk to.
Yeah, game facts. Show me the way.
Yep, and it was very random.
Yeah. You had to talk to these construction dudes. And then talk to another construction dude. And then you can go find it.
Yep. And I didn't see any toilets like that when I was in Japan. I didn't use any public restrooms, certainly not old ones. And certainly not in 2010. But the ones I used were more advanced than our toilets, I would say, not less advanced.
Gotcha.
They had built-in lights and built-in seat warmers, which was kind of cool.
Holy crap.
And all sorts of washing options.
The bidet.
Yep.
Yep, the bidet. Never used one of those. Don't know if I ever will.
Yeah, maybe it was just because it was in a hotel, but it was much different than whatever this guy was using.
Yeah. A hole in the ground. More like an outhouse.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So, after talking to these construction guys, they said, fun fact, they've noticed that this manhole, well-dressed people have been going down this manhole for some reason.
Which is weird because, like, it's so dirty and, like, in the way you're walking through some of these underground parts where there's, like, sewage running around, running next to you. You just kind of walk into. The idea that you could, like, be in a suit, walk down there, and walk back out, and not have anyone notice is kind of funny.
I also have to say that this underground area, the sewer area, is the most animated I've seen this series so far.
Because of the running water?
Because of the running water. I mean, it's like a gushing running water waterfall kind of thing. And I was like, you don't see this in game ever.
Yeah.
I was like, this is weird. I was like, I've never seen this before in a Yakuza game.
Also weird that guy's got his little shop set up right next to what looks like the top of a waterfall, right as it's coming out of a pipe.
Yeah.
And it's just like blasting right next to him, so he must be soaking wet all the time.
Yeah, and his food that he's selling.
Yeah, I don't think I want that sewage food.
Yeah. So that's another mechanic in the game, is that you can be picking up trash. And if you take it to the trash man guy, he will appraise it and give you points that you can then use in the underground to buy food or items or something like that.
Yeah, it's funny. You pick up soft garbage and cubed garbage and all sorts of things.
Yeah. So, we go through this labyrinth of sewer tunnels and eventually make it to Purgatory, which we all know what Purgatory is. We've been there before.
And it looks exactly the same as it always has.
It does look the exact same. And we go and meet with the florist. The florist is like, I've been expecting you, because he always expects you. And he's like, you're looking for your boss, right? Yeah. Well, I have that information. It's going to cost you, though. What did you say, 100,000 yen?
Yeah, something like that.
And, of course, we had just escaped prison. We don't have any money. Yeah, I don't have that. He's like, okay, well, there's another way you can pay me. And we have to go. What do we do in every Yakuza game, Matt? We go and fight in the Coliseum.
Yep.
And he wants us to go prove our worth in the Coliseum. So we had to go and fight to the death against Ivan something. Ibramovich, whatever. And, this fight was easy.
Yep. At this point in the game, also, like, of this section, I've leveled Saejima up with those kind of, like, triple finisher punches.
Uh-huh.
So a lot of times when I connect one, I can connect all three, which does pretty good damage. And then what's even better than that is the one where you just stand there and charge. And then you do, like, a whirlwind attack that'll get you 2 or 3 heavy hits. And there's almost no one that can block that.
Yeah.
So that whirlwind hit for me was the game changer. I mean, that's how I finished off every hard fight.
The biggest one for me is there's the shortening of throw time. So, like, you don't have to tap the button so many times to throw.
Yeah.
And then there's also the one where you can pick up big guys. So, like, the heavyset guys or even bosses, you can grab them. That comboed with the short number of presses you have to do to throw somebody, on top of if your health is blinking low, like if you're wounded basically,
yeah,
and you have heat, you do like a special throw. Holy crap, that makes short work of anybody.
Yep.
And I love it, because that last boss fight of this section, poor old Majima didn't stand a chance, man.
Yeah. Yeah, he's had better fights where Majima looked tougher.
No, definitely. So, we fight this Ivan dude. We beat him up. He's laying there on the ground. The entire group of the spectators here are, just clamoring for blood. Kill him, kill him, kill him. Sajima's like, you guys need to shut the hell up. Every one of you. Not a single one of you know what it means to take a life.
Yep, another really good, like, moment for him to reflect on what he's done.
Yeah. He's like, I'm not killing anybody else. I'm done. And he looks at the florist and kind of gives him a look, and it's like, I'm out of here. So he walks away. As he's leaving, the florist stops him and is like, hey, you didn't kill that guy. Congratulations, you passed the test. I'll tell you what you want to know. So he's like, you want to know where your boss is? Well, I know where your boss is. Your boss has been living on the streets for the past 25 years. He's like, what? He's like, yeah. In fact, bring him in. I'm just like, what? Well, that was quick. They just had him laying there. And the boss is now a homeless man
who's had a rough time since '85.
Yeah, he did get beaten pretty badly, and I think he suffered some brain damage.
Became a hardcore alcoholic.
Yeah, became a hardcore alcoholic, and is basically an invalid.
Yep.
But he did remember Sajima.
Yeah, another good moment. A little cheesy, but a good moment where like he's been basically catatonic, won't respond to anybody, but does recognize Sajima.
Yeah. And after that little reunion, Sajima's asked the florist, okay, only thing left is to find Majima. And he's like, well, I guess you can handle Majima. And so we have to leave Purgatory. And that's when we realize the fuzz is after us.
Yeah,
they're
which
everywhere.
Also is just a good like arc for this chapter, right? We know what happened in the past. We know that for 25 years he's felt betrayed. So it just feels right that like this chapter, you know that going into the fourth chapter of this part, the goal is to find out what happened. Why were we betrayed? And you know, so just the way this was structured, I really liked it because it felt important.
Yeah, it also felt like quick.
Yep, and it doesn't feel like
it wasn't drowned out at all.
Yeah, it wasn't dragged out, and it wasn't it wasn't just like now we're going to do another hit, or it felt more important to him, and there was a lot of like essentially his whole life, at least the last 25 years, have been building up to this point, and I just feel like it had a lot of weight, if not story weight, a lot of character weight to it.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is basically, we got to go back to the hideout. That's where we have our little moment with Kaido, and then when we get back to the hideout, the poor homeless people we've been helping, they're all beat up, and a familiar face is there. It's I guess lieutenant to the Majima family.
Yep.
We beat him up once before as a different person, but now we'll have to do it again.
I keep thinking Minami, but Minami.
Yeah.
Minami.
I think it's Minami.
Minami.
And he's like, so, boss heard that you're in town. He wants to meet with you at the Millennium Tower.
Which could be an easy request, like, hey, we're going to go take you to the boss, but not in the Yakuza game.
No. And he's like, yeah, he's wanting to meet with you tomorrow night at the Millennium Tower. And he's like, okay. So we then have the time to prepare. And, well, I didn't really bother preparing.
Yeah, I didn't have any preparations to make. I already had purchased some extra food items, so I was as stocked as I could be.
Yeah. So I went ahead and started it, and we have to map out. Because the cops are around, we have to, holy crap. So the thing is like when you first leave this hideout, you're actually at the Millennium Tower.
Yeah.
You are. And then you have to go underground, and you go up onto the roofs, go underground again, and then you make it back to the Millennium Tower. This is like 10 minutes of wandering around just to get to where I was at the beginning.
Yeah, you do almost an exact backtrack, right? From the Millennium Tower to the hideout, and then from the hideout back to the Millennium Tower?
Yep.
Which is a strange way to structure this part.
Yes, it is. But once we make it into the Millennium Tower, there's tons of Yakuza guys there in the lobby. And Miname's there. And he's like, so, the boss said if you really are who you say you are, You should be able to beat all of us. So begins the gauntlet again.
Yep.
And I'm talking probably at least 20 guys.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, after beating up all those guys, boss fight with Mini-Me. I'll just call him Mini-Me. Which he wasn't difficult.
Yeah. Just kind of taking the time to get through, because especially in like the first section, I don't know if all the guys are actually there at the beginning, but it feels like there's maybe 5 guys, but when you take one out, they sub in another guy until you fought, I don't know, 10 or 12 or whatever, 15.
Yeah.
And you have to go through another round of, I don't know if they were actually harder, they were better dressed people in the second round.
But, yeah. After that, Majima shows up, and he's like, hey, why don't we go to the batting cages?
Yeah, and this was another really cool scene when you walk outside.
Yeah, you walk outside, and the entire streets are just covered with Majima's men.
To the point that they're like, you don't even need to worry about the cops, because the cops can't get through our sea of the whole army that we've got, basically.
Yeah, don't worry about the cops. We'll just walk down the street here. And so we walk down the street, go to the batting cages, and Majima just starts hitting balls. And Majima's like, so are we going to talk about this?
Yeah, you know why we're here.
Yeah, 25 years ago, I did a hit on the Siwa family, and you were nowhere to be seen. Probably could have used you, man.
Yeah, you were my brother.
And, yeah. Majima's like, look, you know what we need to do. We need to duke this out. Of course we are. Wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah. Even though it doesn't really seem to make sense here, it's a little bit of a stretch that this important of a moment has to be preceded by a fight. But, sure.
Yeah. But Majima, man.
Yeah.
Even when he went into heat mode, I was able to get that the charge hit and then the 3 hits. Even if I missed the 2 hits at the end, the 3rd hit would knock him down, which would then allow me to grab him by the legs, which would then allow me to use a heat move where I basically Mario swing him like Bowser.
Yeah.
And throw him against a wall. And that took off like probably a 1/4 of his health each time. I did that 3 times, he's dead. I was like, okay, this is perfect. And so after beating him up, Majima finally is like, all right, here's the thing. Lots changed while you were in prison. And he's like, yeah, obviously, you're missing an eye. Yeah, I'm missing an eye because of you. See, what happened, and what I believe happened, but I'm not 100% sure, is that this whole Siwa hit was a setup. I'm pretty sure it was set up by the Shibata family. And he's like, how sure are you? I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure. The problem is that me, you, and one other guy are the only people that know about it, and the other guy is not going to talk to you. He's like, who's that? Shibata himself. Great. So now what do we do? And now I don't know what we do, because that's where the chapter ends.
Yeah, but he basically says, like, I was restrained. Look, I didn't abandon you. I was not allowed to be there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was punished for my my wanting to go to be with you is what caused me to lose my eye. And so, at least tries to convey that there was no intentional betrayal anyway.
Yeah.
At least not of Majima to Sajima.
Yeah. But yeah, this whole chapter felt really quick. But a lot of stuff happened during that time.
Yep.
And this is the kind of chapters that I want.
Yep. It doesn't feel anywhere near as padded. There's not a lot of like excess fetch quests. There's a lot of tie-ins.
Did you do any of the side quests in this?
I didn't finish any. I initiated a few, talking to people and meeting up with them, but I didn't actually go through the wrap-up pieces.
Right.
Right, like this, a lot of the Yakuza games, like you go through the initial section and it says, oh, I'll be waiting here, come visit me. And then I just never do. Okay. Got a lot of people waiting for me.
Yeah. There were two things I did do. I did do a little bit of the whole underground mining expedition.
I did the first one.
I did probably 3 of them, and then it got to a point where like, okay, well, you need to go make a new pickaxe. And I'm like, okay, I'm never going to do this then.
Yeah.
And then there was that one where the guy at the dojo was trying to train this kid to fight in a tournament.
Yep.
And I trained him for probably about 3 rounds, and that was it. I did no sub-stories whatsoever with him.
Yeah, I didn't this time.
Yeah. But, I'm trying to imagine, do we have any emails? Dustin did not get his email into me. I think he may have forgotten. But that's okay. So, yeah, I was a little iffy at the end of the last play session. And then as soon as I realized who I was playing as, I was like, okay, I'm in.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. The next section. So I'm not an idiot. I can tell by the cover of this game, there's 4 characters we're going to be playing as.
Yeah.
And I know they're saving Kiryu for last. I have no idea who this third guy is.
Yeah, Tanamura.
Is it Tanamura?
Yeah.
Have you played some of this or no?
Only like the first 5 minutes.
Okay. But I have no idea who this guy is. Hopefully, is he a completely new character, Matt?
I think so. He's a detective, so we get to see a little bit of the other side.
Oh, okay. Okay. A little bit of the judgment part. There you go. So, yeah. But that's it. I mean, how you feeling about it so far?
Yeah, again, pretty good. I think, I'm pretty eager now to see the rest of the game. Again, I like the structure. I mean, this particular character, I thought his story was well done, and I thought that it was paced well, aside from the weird backtracking in the last chapter. But more than that, I think it was just the comfort with what the game is doing and the way it's structuring the different characters and the way the stories are going to intertwine, the way the stories are going to tie into the past. All of that really got me a lot more excited about what the rest of the game will do.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure I'll be back all in, even if the next chapter is a slog. I'll be back all in once we get Kiryu.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's it for us. I appreciate everybody listening. If you'd like to send us an email, it's drew@ztgd.com. You can also tweet to us. I am at DMLFury. Matt is at REMGS. And the podcast itself is at ZTGD Phoenix Down. Speaking of at ZTGD Phoenix Down, Friday, when you are listening to this, I want you to go to that Twitter account, the Phoenix Down Twitter account, because I will be posting a poll for our next game. I'm going to run it for an entire week, or as long as I can on Twitter. I think it's a week that you can do it. And I want everybody listening to this to vote on our next game. There's going to be 4 choices, and whichever one gets the most votes is the game that we're going to be playing after Yakuza 4. So, make sure you vote. It's going live this Friday. So when you're listening to this, go to the Twitter for Phoenix Down and vote for the game that you want us to play.
Vote early and vote often.
there you go. And we'll definitely. I'm excited because we got 4 games, 4 choices that I think are all really good, and I'm excited to see where everybody leans. But yeah, that's going to be it for us. Nice and easy episode. Hopefully, the next chapters will be just as exciting and as streamlined as the previous ones were. But we'll see. Until next time, though, I'm Drew.
And I'm Matt.
And we are out of here. You guys have a great week, and we'll be back with a continuation of Yakuza.